Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, depending on where and when you're watching this broadcast. I'm Thomas Fessa, my friends, and this is Disclosure Tonight. Happy Friday, March 27th, 2026. Where is the year gone? My God, we're almost at the end of March. Has Disclosure happened yet? Well, not yet. That's why we still got Disclosure Tonight. But, we get a lot of interesting things. But before we get there, I am ahead of myself as usual. Let's go ahead and welcome in our phenomenal audience who's in the chat. That's right, chat. If you want to jump in the chat and say, hey, I'll give you a couple seconds and I will call your name. It shows up alphabetically, so if you're A's, you're screwed at this point. Let's welcome in A-Hulk. We got Amanda here, along with Anne-Marie. I see Brains. Captain K is here, along with Craig Smith. We got Evan B. Eggnog, along with Firefly, Flavio. Fear Addicted just popped in. You caught me, my friend. Geraldine Durazio's out there, along with Hudson Valley. Jeremy Perry's out there, along with John Napoleon. New names. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being a part of the show. Kelly's here, along with Kathy Brout and those piercing blue eyes. Good to see you, Kelly. It's always great to see you, my friend. Kathy, too. There she is. Who else are we out there? We got King Bull, McCarolyn, Megan Bess is out there, along with Metal Gaming 420. Ms. Cussouts there, along with Necessary Dialogue. And our resident Pitbull, just look at his profile picture, is here Mr. Niles Guy. And he is not afraid to go ahead and use that badge to escort unruly people out of the show. Who else we have out there? We got One Planet, One Feces, Plywood Pigeon, Prisms Film US. We got Puck Elf. Good to see a Puck Elf. I know who that is. Oh, it's from Australia. We got Rainbow. We got Randy Robert, Roni Deal. Robert is out there, along with Rough Reddy, Sam, Scooby-Dooby Gooby, Shelly Montgomery, Shinobi One, Kenobi. Oh my God, I got to get into here and finish it off. Who else we have out there? Shinobi One, Kenobi, Silver Saucers out there, Spruce Moose, Stephen Mateo, Treesaw TV. I know who that is. Good to see you, my friend. Two Head 666, Wee Beasties coming to us from Australia. Yankee 5858 and Yell Tommy Tanker, also known as Andy, who's on our Saturday show on a regular basis. But yeah, I think the times have caught up, so he'll be showing up here shortly. How about that? And I want to jump across into the back and say, Mike, how you doing? Wait a minute, you're Daryl. You're not Mike.
That's right. We and Daryl switched.
Yeah.
So we may not have gotten Disclosure, but we have a shiny new war in Iran to talk about. So at least we got something from the government.
Oh my God. What is it? Okay, we're out of helium, and helium is necessary for making chips. So is natural gas, because 40% of the energy that comes out of Taiwan, where they make the chips, comes out of the Strait of Hormuz, which means they're on like 20 days left. We've got Australia is totally fucked right now. High portions of their, gas stations in southeastern Australia. That's where Susan lives. Or none of your business. They are out of gas completely. And it's not just gas, it's also diesel. The stuff they need for the trucks to move the food around. Yeah, the world is getting fucked over really quick, Mike, more than we thought.
And fertilizer, don't forget that.
Oh, the fertilizer. Yes, we got fertilizer. The majority of this stuff comes out of the Strait of Hormuz as well. And good news, China said they're not going to go ahead and be shipping any fertilizer, at least for the next year. But that's only necessary for growing crops and feeding the world. And within minutes, Russia said, we're not going to be shipping any fertilizer for the next year because Ukraine just blew up our depot where we deal with 40% of all the stuff that comes out of Russia. Great job, Ukraine. Yeah, Mike, it seems like this next year is going to be a whole fuck you Friday for everybody, day in and day out, because the price of computers are going to go up. It already has because of RAM and everything, but now CPUs are going to get more scarce because the materials they need to make them is going to get there. And gasoline shortages, they're starting to rationing it all over the place. Philippines put a lockdown on everything on their island regarding energy for the next year. So there's a lot of shit happening.
Well, you know why Russia got fucked by Ukraine as bad as they did recently? Because what they were doing is that the Ukrainian forces are utilizing Elon's Starlink. And the Russians were piggybacking off of Starlink illegally to be able to conduct war operations. Yeah, illegally.
Yeah.
To conduct war operations in the Ukraine.
Yeah.
So what Elon did is he locked them all out.
Yeah.
And prevented them from
It's like locking out the people who want to steal cable. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. So all of their command and coordination got knocked out from the Russian side, and they've been getting hit really hard because of it.
And then Ukraine saw what was going on with the United States and Iran and decided, let's just fuck the world a bit more so we can screw everybody over to try and get this thing taken care of. It's just a mess.
Oh, and Israel attacked their nuclear plant and is hitting Iran in their energy resources now as well.
Fourth time they've hit it now.
Uh-huh. Oh, it's nonstop over there.
And Saudi Arabia's pulled in it. UAE is in it. Everyone is in it at this point.
India is now in it.
That's right. They have a small amount of oil left too, like 18 days, right?
Well, yeah, a lot of their oil's in that strait, and they made the point that Iran doesn't own the strait.
Yeah.
It's not theirs, period.
And Pakistan was called into this on Tuesday by Saudi Arabia saying, hey, what about that agreement we have with you for military? An attack on one and an attack on all. Why the fuck aren't you attacking Iran? We're getting hit. Well, it's a mess.
I think the India thing may be a domino because they're sending their own navy.
Yeah.
So, once everybody figures out, okay, this really does make sense because these people are crazy. They're nuts.
Yeah.
They're shooting everything.
Yeah. We can't forget about Europe. The major countries in Europe have all band together. They're going to start building detention centers and starting mass re-immigration. Where does that sound? Remigration. Where does that sound familiar, Daryl?
Yeah, there seems to be there's some science fiction movie.
It's like a great movie. I agree.
The whole world is about to go boom because when you have such an energy crisis hitting everywhere, tempers are going to be flying, people are going to get pissed off, and people are going to start launching things towards each other more than we're getting today. I just hope it doesn't get there. Let's hope that bringing out aliens will distract everybody from this.
Bring out your aliens.
Let's not forget that you need kerosene to run these jets.
Oh, yeah. Good point. It's kind of interesting you bring that up, Tom, because on Tuesday of this week, we had the major plant in the United States that develops all the kerosene that's used for fighting, filling up the F-35, the F-22, the F-18, all of our, what we fly around on our KC-135 tankers. They blew that facility magically, accidentally had a fire and it took it offline.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone's getting hit hard, including us.
Oh, that's why we need to go ahead and shut down, especially our cybersecurity division in the United States government at this point. And what has happened?
Oh, they hacked Kash Patel's private email.
Oh, they hacked Kash Patel. They've hacked Lockheed. Who knows where else is going to go? They claim they shut down a bunch of point-of-sale systems across the United States. That was a bit, okay, I am too quiet. I'm too loud, and the back is not enough. Thank you. Who just sent me that? Craig Smith. Is this any better? Sorry. And I'm just hyped up from the things that are going on. But
we all are.
Yeah.
Pretty serious. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, let's get to this next piece we need to go ahead and talk about here, Mike. It's one of the things I forgot about for today. Yes, our dear friend Lou Elizondo is in the hospital, and it wasn't potentially caused by Susan Goff or the former Sean Kirkpatrick from Arrow. Although I wonder if, Lou was out for a drive and they're a family of deer popped into the middle of the road. We have to wonder, Mike, was it actually a family of deer in the road or was it a projected hologram aimed at freaking taking Lou Elizondo out?
Or militarized deer.
Yeah. You never know where it's going to go. So I think there's a story in here somewhere. Let me see if I can find this, and I'll read it for anyone who missed it on the channel. Yeah, I put this up when I saw this. Everything's on Tuesday of this week, apparently, as well as I'm remembering it. But it may not be that date. So coming to us again, March 24th. Yeah, close enough to Tuesday. All right, so what is Lou Elizondo saying? I want to share a quick update with all of you. Recently, I was involved in a motorcycle accident while avoiding a family of deer. I'm grateful to say that I'm okay and taking the necessary time to recover. It's been a sobering reminder of how quickly things can change. Sobering, that means, well, there are margaritas involved? I hope not. And how important it is to stay grounded, present, and appreciative of those people around us. I've always believed that resilience isn't just about enduring challenges, but learning from them and moving forward with purpose. This is no different. Mike, they talk about this at my job all the time. Anytime there's a failure, you know what they call it? This is a learning experience.
Oh, sure.
Everybody's
Why
a winner
wouldn't it
then. Yeah. Like
Yeah,
Little League.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the road rash on his forehead, I'm sure is something he won't soon forget.
Yeah, let me finish this off. We'll talk about that in a second. And those planning to join me in the upcoming podcast tour. Interesting. I'm still very much looking forward to seeing you all. We've got important conversations ahead, and I intend to be there for them. Stay safe, stay curious, and I'll see you soon. I think he may be not talking about the podcast tour, unless the tour he's on, Mike. He's going to have a bunch of podcast people with him on the stage in the different cities he's going to.
I don't think so. I think he was planning on appearing on certain podcasts as part of the tour he's on.
Oh.
But we'll see.
We'll find
see
out.
when he's back on his feet. Yeah, we will find out.
I will be seeing him in Seattle on, I think it's June 8th or something like that. The last tour stop for Lou Elizondo at the end of the tour. It should be a good rap party for that one.
Oh, it definitely will be. And you'll be right in the heart of it.
Oh, yeah, I'll be backstage ahead of time and the whole thing. And we may, if there's people in the Seattle area, let's reach out. Let's have a gathering. You can help me pull the weeds in my front yard.
Yeah.
All right. We love you, Lou. We will hope you get better. And it's great to see him, Jennifer there supporting him. But about that road rash, Mike.
Yeah, I know. My God. That means the man obviously forgot to wear his helmet that day.
Safety first. You always put a helmet on that soldier because someone can get pregnant. I mean, someone can get in an accident. My God. At least there's not a hole in there.
Right. Well, we know that Lou has a very hard head, so I'm sure he wasn't too concerned. Plus, he owns his own bar, so not really a good combination of things, but he's okay and will be okay, and that's really all that matters.
Did he make a statement to how good he is? I mean, I'm just looking, his wife is looking at the camera lens, but he's looking somewhere else. So I'm just curious.
I would say he's looking there in the bed, feeling like shit on a good dose of painkillers.
Oh, and I know he has a concussion from that as well.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, he's not quite himself with all that going on.
Oh, yeah. That's why his eyes are probably so squinty at that point. But, yeah, Jennifer, we love you, my dear lady. It's great to see you as always there to support your man.
It is.
That is the woman that's behind the man that makes the man who the man is. People don't realize it.
Anybody that read his book is well aware of all that Jennifer has done over the years. Should be. Because it was all in the book. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a tough lady as well, not just Lou.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We love her as well. Yeah, she's really tough as nails. So she's been through it.
Exactly. Let's see where I can get back to here. I've been rebuilding. Oh, no, not Hello, Susan. Not that one. Where is that at? Interview guest. Yeah. I've been rebuilding my OBS thing, set up. I did something to it. And now and this one I'm running for the show right now. If I'm to open up another application, I will crash OBS. I've learned. I know how to crash it. I know not how to crash it. And I've been doing the steps necessary to rebuild this thing to make it where it needs to go to. So to get about talking about the top things we have on tonight's show, one of the first things we need to get to is J.D. Vance. He's a good Christian VP. And I think what we're going to hear him talk about here, Mike, is what the late Eric von Daniken would call is cargo cult, right? You take your ancient belief systems. You see things that are out there in the sky, right? Although the ancient belief systems are based on writings from man from thousands of years ago, they still want to take those readings verbatim and apply them to what we're seeing in the real world, right? But the problem we have is muted. The problem we have on this is that we're kind of mixing our beliefs versus with the reality around us. And that's
and I was accidentally muted, so you're correct. I just fixed that. My apologies.
Oh, I've learned how to flow with that with a certain amount of elegance and humor, so that's a good thing. So we've got this cargo cult thing going on. We're seeing stuff that's in our skies we can't understand. We're relating it to the books we're reading in church and saying, wow, this sounds like what those things are seeing up there. I bet that's exactly what we're seeing. And that's kind of what we're dealing with. People, there are certain groups of people, Mike, who see things and equate it to it, and they want to believe.
Right. Like people who think disclosure is a religion. We've talked about that many times.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Not a good direction to go in for a subject like this.
No, it's not. It never is.
Right.
Interesting. They took the pinning of the chat and they put it down on the bottom. So let's go ahead and get to this. And our next story we've got coming in from Colin Rugg. This was a clip from the Benny Show earlier today. Let's go ahead and bring this one up here, Mike. All right, so let's play it up here. Actually, let's take it full screen. Why not? Let's go ahead and get this clip up and let's play it from Benny Johnson. Thank you for sharing this, Benny, over on X. You're a service to our community, whether you like it or not. Here we go. Let's go ahead and play this, and then we'll play it, listen to it, and take it from there. Here we go, folks.
You're going to release all the UFO files?
We're working on it. It's funny.
When
I came...
Sorry, it was quiet.
You're going to release all the UFO files?
We're working on it. It's funny. When I came in, I was obsessed with the UFO files. And then you start getting really busy worrying about the economy and national security and things like that. But I've still got 3 more years as vice president. I will get to the bottom of the UFO files.
Okay. Have you peeked? Have you done a peek?
Have I what?
Really quick, Mike. They asked on this up front, are you going to release all of the UFO files, not just the UFO file?
Right. Which is a good question to ask. But all I heard from him is a lot of laughing. So
yeah. He says he wants to get out. We got 3 years left. We're going to get it there. Everyone's on Ozempic these days, including JD Vance, not myself. Well, apparently I need to get the shot monthly now too. But yeah, everyone's losing weight.
Have you peeked? Have you done a peek?
Have I what?
Have you done a peek? Have you
So I actually haven't. I have
full
not.
Independence Day.
I have not been able to spend enough time on this to really understand it, but I am going to. Trust me, I'm obsessed with this. I've already had a couple of times where I'm like, all right, we're going to Area 51. We're going out to New Mexico. We're going to sort of get to the bottom of this. And then the timing of the trip just didn't work out. But trust me,
Mike,
anybody
look around his eyes. He is significantly aged in the last year.
Oh, yeah. Well, everything that we're involved in right now, that would be true, I think, for just about anybody.
Yep.
Who's curious about this, I'm more curious than anybody, and I've got 3 years of the very, very tippy top of the classification. I'm going to get to the bottom of it.
Okay, so you haven't been to Area 51 yet?
Not yet.
Some people say they keep the UFOs in Ohio. They might,
Hangar 18, Hangar 18, right?
I've
heard that as well, but I don't know. I haven't looked into it yet.
Okay, all right. Well, we're waiting for it. We saw aliens.gov. We saw aliens.gov.
I don't think they're aliens. I think they're demons anyway, but that's a longer discussion.
Well, I can't let you.
There you go, Mike.
Son of a bitch. Did he really just say that?
Yeah, of course. Of course he said it. He thinks they're demons.
Let's hope he was kidding.
Yeah, Tom. If he's not kidding, it's not good.
But it's a way to bring in the mass of the Christian population, which has been declining in the United States and the world for that matter.
Yeah, but it's not looking good for disclosure if that's really what his core belief system is. He's basically talking Collins elite, and that's a scary thought.
Yeah, but this is the same shit that's been going around the Department of Defense going on for the longest time, where they've been going ahead and saying we can't bring out disclosure because we're dealing with demons in the sky, and we're hearing the same thing from the VP.
No, that's really a bad sign for anybody that's interested in actual disclosure. This is not good if that's what is influencing him at this time.
That's what, and I'm wondering if Laura's thinking the same thing. Now I'm wondering if he isn't tied to somebody in the deeper state.
Oh.
Right. That's right. That's a good point, Darryl. It's not a good point for us wanting to get to the truth. But if that really is what disclosure is depending on, and he believes that, for God's sakes, they're demons.
That's okay. We can bring if the aliens are coming down, the Pope has just talked about wanting to expand what's going on with exorcisms, right? He's holding a whole council on that thing. So maybe we could use the Pope's new council for exorcisms to combat the aliens that are coming to invade us.
There was like somebody in the chat that just said, what if it's true? You know what? What if it is true? I mean, they're still aliens.
Right. Someone just said, but demons don't need someone just said this, but demons don't need spaceships, just like it was in Star Trek when when Captain Kirk said, but God doesn't need a starship. Right.
Neither does the devil.
Yeah.
That's a good point. It applies equally.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Correct.
I'll take it one way or the other. You show me an image of a demon driving a spaceship, I don't care.
It ain't no demon. But that's the thing. We've had all these different sightings that have gone on in antiquity, and we always try to relate it to stuff we know. And what do we know that's there and people believe without fact? Religion. Hate to say it, folks. Alice, your hand is up directly.
Yeah, hi guys. How are you tonight?
Oh, not bad yourself.
It's with JD Vance. And I wonder if one hand knows what the other's doing in our government, because they're coming out with aliens.com, and Trump and Obama are talking about knowing that there are some ET factions.
Yeah.
We have Vance saying that it's demons. So what do you guys think about that?
Everyone has the ability to go ahead and reflect on this and see how it goes in their own belief context. If it requires someone to see something and say, I'm going to acknowledge that it's there, but I think that it's this, that's okay. At least they're halfway there, right? Versus someone saying it's a balloon or it's swamp gas or it's a seagull.
Right, like we get from Arrow and Kirkpatrick regularly.
Don't you think you would have been briefed on this if they're already opening aliens.gov and aliens.com?
No. This is what I was going to say is, you take away all the humans,
need to know.
Then there is no government, because the government is humans. Humans are faulty. So to suggest that it is some crazy thought that maybe one hand doesn't know what the other one's doing in a bureaucracy that goes several layers deep everywhere in the government, no, doesn't surprise me.
No.
So you're saying he does know he doesn't know?
I just saying we have no clue. I mean,
right. It's all speculative at this point. He may know something, but the thing is, he knows he can't talk about shit until his boss goes and throws the shit on aliens.gov, and then he can talk about it. Otherwise, he risks stepping into the same shit pie that Obama stepped into and acknowledged stuff when it was a matter of national security, and it wasn't.
If anybody in the Trump administration is going to acknowledge there's aliens, it'll be Trump, because nobody is going to jump over Trump to say there's aliens.
Oh, I know who will.
That would be rear-ending.
Anna Paulina Luna has the president's attention. Gee, I wonder why. And she seems to be popping up in a whole bunch of different areas, especially like going up against the Senate and everything like this. And she's been getting a lot more press and coverage lately, Mike, and I think there's an ulterior motive here.
It might be, Thomas. That's actually a very good point.
Yeah, could she be the running mate for Vance in 2028?
That's an interesting thought.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but every time we have a woman running for the position of vice president, that election never goes well.
Well, it went well with Kamala, right?
Well, yeah. But that was more of I believe, trying to be diverse with the population to get elected.
Yeah.
What is Anna Paulina Luna checking out at this point? Does anybody know?
She's not saying they're demons.
No.
But I mean, she was the big task force on it when Trump was elected.
She was on Bill Maher last Friday night, right?
Yes, I saw that.
And she said that we are going to see some pretty amazing things. We're not going to see everything, but we're going to see some pretty amazing things.
And the stuff she was basing it on, that we're going to get to talk about, she's going to get to talk about all the stuff that came out of the FBI.
The FBI meeting with Congress that
Which we need to hear more coming out of out of the DOD, because they know a lot of shit, especially the Air Force and the Space Force and the Navy, all of them.
I just wanted to add prayers for Lou. I feel bad for what happened, and just extending that.
Thank you, Alice.
Thank you,
Appreciate
guys.
that. Yeah, thank
That's
you.
very nice, Alice. But
all right.
Listen, he has a very hard head. He'll be fine.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know him that well.
Let's play
right,
Thank you, Alice. Appreciate it. Let's play the rest of this without interruption. I promise. Not that much long. About a minute left to go. Let's play it and see where it takes us. Here we go, folks.
So aliens.gov.
I don't think they're aliens. I think they're demons anyway, but that's a longer discussion.
Well, I can't let you go without a follow-up on that. Because Barack Obama is on this podcast and he goes, yeah, aliens are real, but like, here's where they're not. And, you know,
I did not.
And so Obama says,
I
yes,
didn't hear that
aliens
one.
are, he gets asked point blank, are aliens real? He said, oh, yeah. And then he goes, but they're not at Area 51. And
well, where are they?
Well, that's what he says. Right. That's a great question.
Trump had to go.
But they said it's not there unless it's some kind of big conspiracy to go ahead and hide this shit from the federal government. From the president, I mean. Which means he's saying it could be there and they didn't tell me, but I already know that it's there.
That's what Obama said.
Yeah.
Obama said it would be the biggest cover-up because you would have denied a sitting president the opportunity to know everything, or something to that extent. But when he said that, he did this. And it would be the biggest cover-up if somebody ever did that to me.
Yep.
I mean, that's how he did it. You can go back and watch the tape.
I saw it, Daryl, but the thing is, what you're talking about basically says that it's real, because he's saying that it's not, only unless this thing happened, wink, wink, drink, drink.
Right. I mean, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Let's go ahead. And I said I wasn't going to pause, but I did anyway. Here we go.
Save him, and he said he's going to declassify. Okay. So you think they're demons?
Well, look, I think that celestial beings who fly around, who do weird things to people, I think that the desire to describe everything celestial, everything as otherworldly, to describe it as aliens. I mean, every great world religion, including Christianity, the one that I believe in, has understood that there are weird things out there. And there are things that are very difficult to explain.
But what about his wife, who's Hindu, who practices Hinduism? And they have the Mahabharata. They talk about the Vimanas. They talk about the gods in the skies and their flying craft battling against each other. Hello, I know you're Christian and you're saying that for your base, but what about the religion from that other part of that union you have where you bring together between your wife and you? It seems like he's totally disrespecting his wife's religion and her beliefs, which I see as appalling, honestly.
But is she like a really strong Hindu? I mean, you have Christians that go to church on Christmas and Easter.
Oh, the twice-a-year Catholics. Yes, we know about those.
One of my best friends is a priest. I hate to tell you that.
That's okay. I'm sure he can talk about the twice-a-year Catholics. They come out.
He loves Broadway shows.
Oh, God. Does he have a sweater and wear his watch over his sweater, and he's really expressive with his hands, flamboyant? Yeah.
Does he have a cute little dog at home?
He loves old. He has 2 cats.
Oh, there
you go. It explains everything.
But he's a strong. He goes to get this barbershop where Trump's face is like plastered on the wall. So he's like this. He's like a MAGA priest. That's all I can tell you.
There's lots of gays who are MAGA, so good for him.
Yeah.
Oh my God, great conversation. Appreciate you bringing it. I love the honesty of the people in the back, honestly.
I'd love to get him in here sometime, actually. He's a freaking hoot.
Yeah, he may have to come in here anonymously at this point.
We can do that.
Oh, if you promise him a ride in the Ferrari and he can hold a dog on his lap, you may be able to.
He's been in the Ferrari.
Oh, there you go. But have you been to his private confessional?
No, and that would never happen. We're like brothers, honestly.
Well, we've seen the Island Boys, so.
Yeah, I haven't.
Good. I haven't seen them either. I'm just joking. Let's move on.
Oh my God. What's that knocking around in the closet?
I naturally go, when I hear about sort of extra natural phenomenon, that's where I go to, is the Christian understanding that, there's a lot of good out there, but there's also some evil out there. And I think that one of the devil's great tricks is to convince people he never existed.
Yeah, but I need to bring this up really quick. We have heard this. We have said this many, many times. And I'll say it again right now. The last thing you want to do is go ahead and equate this as religion. You need to stay away from that. It is what it is. What we're dealing with is what we're dealing with. And most importantly, we cannot take human emotions. This is where I was trying to go, but I forgot, but I remembered halfway through. Thank God for the Adderall. The human complex. We can't take our emotions, our thought complexes, or anything and apply it to the non-human intelligence, the aliens, whatever you want to call them, because they are not human. They are alien for a reason. And if we go ahead and try and start to normalize and humanize these entities, whatever they are, because remember, it's been said a bunch of times that if you learn about what they're doing and what the reality of all this is, you'll be weeping in your hands for weeks. What could be so bad? The intent?
Yes, some people.
Yeah.
I don't know that everybody would. But, are you prepared for the afterlife? I mean, what
could be so bad to freak everybody out? They faked religion. They faked the story of going and ascending into a forever afterlife, or to, going into heaven. And the reality is they harvest our negative emotion. And when we die, they harvest our consciousness, our spirituality, and they have everything all sewed up. So everything in our complex, from our religions to what our belief is of what happens after death, that could really freak someone who's religious out, right, Daryl? I asked this on Tuesday again when I was doing my heavy duty meditation, and that's what came in.
Yes. As I probably have said too many times recently, we don't. I mean, you think about us in perspective of there's probably trillions of other planets of intelligent life, and then we're sitting here thinking we're the center of that intelligent life. We probably aren't. So there's probably way more exciting things going on somewhere else where people don't kill each other, beat up blind women on buses.
But that may be things they take the energy that goes on when the stuff is going on and they feed off of it.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm willing to find out, though. I'm curious if the Anna Paulina stuff that she's talking about doesn't at least give us more clues in that regard. Is it religious? People are going to look at whatever they have that they're going to release and make a decision. That ain't Jesus, or that is a spaceship or something.
It's a Vimana. It's something else, and we'll all find out.
A plasma. I mean, an intelligent plasma. You hear that a lot. So who knows?
Oh, crazy stuff, to say the absolute least. Where am I at? Oh, there we go.
I can tell you that back in the day, Shakespeare wrote, "There is no good or evil. There is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so." And then he wrote that in Hamlet, Act 2, Scene 2. So from hundreds of years ago, he was making it clear that good and evil is a human construct. And he wrote that in 1599. So it means that in reality, or in everything around us, the idea that something is good or bad is something that we as humans created. It's a construct of us, not one of the universe. So, and that's actually straightening out as far as what's real and what isn't. And he did that back in 1599 in a play for the public. So I'm surprised that J.D. Vance, who's the vice president of the United States, doesn't have a clue about that or how it
Or
works.
Mike,
it's disappointing.
He maybe has a clue, but he understands the requirements and restrictions of national security, and he doesn't want to be disappeared. Let's be honest about it.
So you think he's putting this religious spin on it to distract people from the truth?
It's a religious spin to maybe distract people from the truth, but also take a large chunk of the audience that when this comes out and we bring out the truth of what's happening, right? That there's something that people aren't going to completely freak out on and they can relate it to in their current belief complex.
I can tell you, having grown up in northern Alabama in the South.
Are you from the South?
I lived all over the place, but at one point in time, I was a raging Baptist. So from like 7th grade to 9th or 10th, hell, I don't even remember where I was going with all that. But, oh yeah, I do. When the thought of UFO, or when anybody asks about UFOs in that culture, a highly religious Baptist, Christian culture, they do point to those being demons.
Yeah.
Well, we know that from the Collins elite, Darryl. We've covered that here on the show for years now. People with a strong religious background are going to attribute it to that because that's how they identify it.
I was in Joey Stoner. I was in South Northern Alabama. I was on the southern side of the Tennessee River in Northern Alabama. Thank you very much. Right across from Huntsville, by the way.
Oh, Huntsville. Interesting.
Reminds me of that episode of Bugs Bunny when he went to the South and crossed over the Mason-Dixon line.
And ran into Yosemite Sam. Yeah, that was good.
No, Yosemite Sam wasn't there. It was the Colonel. And the dog Belvedere. The first time we saw Belvedere. Belvedere, here boy. Remember that one? Yeah. It's good stuff.
It is good stuff.
All right.
Classics.
I've got the perfect DVR for bringing up all the Looney Tunes cartoons, although I have them all on my hard drive here. Yes, it's on a hard drive because there's a lot of them. They can still recall them in a second. So talking about things to go ahead and recall, well, we've got another thing talking about the big picture coming from James Fox, where he says the big picture is a little scary. So let's get into this point of what he means, that the truth that we're dealing with here is a bit scary because, I guess scary sells clicks, sells videos, sells people to want to go ahead and see this. So let's see what this is coming from James Fox on the Redacted podcast. Let's go ahead and play this, audience. Here we go. And I promise no interruptions on this one. At least I'll try. Got to react,
I was at Age of Disclosure opening, and there was an individual there who's investigated in an official capacity the phenomenon for over 16 years. And I'm talking with this individual, and I could see Leslie Kane, she also attended the event, and I could see her on the other side of the room at this cocktail party after the movie ended. And I could see her looking at me, and she knew who I was talking to. She knew. And I said, I walked up to this individual and I said, I've heard that there are very few people on the planet that have the bigger picture of what's going on. This individual said, yeah, I'd say probably maybe 10 have the biggest part of the picture. That's the whole picture. I was like, 10? My
10
God.
people, that's it?
That's what he said. And then I said, well, like, you investigated in an official capacity for over like 16 years. Like, how many would you consider yourself? Like one of how many? And he's like, probably one of 30. I was like, one of 30?
One of 30.
God. What about like Hal Puthoff and Eric Davis? He's like, maybe one of 50, maybe one of 100. Hard to say for sure. And then I said, well, I heard that and I got a crowbar, man. I'm trying to pry information out of this individual, but he's very guarded. And I said, well, I heard that the bigger picture is a little scary. And he goes, yeah, I could see that. And I was like, you can see that? Like, how can you see that? Like, give me some more.
Yeah.
And I said, like, scary how? Like, oh, you don't need to be worried about your safety. No, and I said, well, how is it scary? He goes, probably the intent. I'm like, intent? Jesus. So then I said, well, like, I was going to say, like, what's what about that? That's a little, you know. And then this individual just like, somebody just from the crowd just walks up in between the two of us. And I look over at Leslie and I see her looking at me. And we had this immediate sort of telepathic communication, like it ended right there. So I didn't get to find out anything more than that.
So interesting, Mike. This brings us up to the point where I went and asked our dear friend ChatGPT, give us a definition of intent. Because they're saying the intent is what freaks people out, right?
Right.
The intent is, examples, his intent was to help equals his purpose was to help. Criminal intent is the person meant to commit the act. Next one is, I didn't say that with bad intent equals I didn't mean it in a harmful way. It can mean purpose, what someone is trying to accomplish, meaning the spirit behind the words of actions, or determination being focused on doing something. So, yeah, it comes down to the question, Mike, that we've asked many, many times here, if I can find it. Mike, what are they doing here? The intent of what they're doing here is what scares them. Flat out.
Yeah. But we've talked about this before. And this boils down to the farmer. Is the farmer somebody that has different livestock on the farm, sheep, chickens, cows, that is providing a source of food for humanity?
But the intent of
good or evil?
But the intent of the farmer is to raise the animals, to take them and sell them to slaughter to feed humanity. That's the intent of the farmer.
Well, there could be people that would want to put it into religious aspects and say that the farmer is somebody who is involved in genocide because he's evil.
Yeah.
And his intent is to kill as many chickens, sheep, and cows as he can. So this is somebody that's representing evil intent.
Right, but isn't it even in the Bible or something that when we get through the Genesis and stuff and they come back and the intent is to harvest the souls of humanity?
Oh, that's the devil.
No, that's not the devil. That's Jesus coming at the end of times to harvest the souls of humanity.
Oh, you're talking about Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that's also another construct of human beings.
Of religion. But we're not going to have 57 or 27 virgins to wait for us on the other side. Damn it.
Well, and Dal, you know this. 2C TV on YouTube that's covering everything going on in the Middle East. He says that for all of the Iranians that have been blown up and passed away, they have 72 sheep waiting for them. Oh, goats. Right. He said goats, right?
Goats.
72 goats.
Ma.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
You know what happens to those goats in Kandahar?
Oh, God.
The goats aren't safe. Even the ducks fly upside down on Thursdays for a reason, because Friday they have to cleanse themselves.
And I think it's important to point out, we're talking about the in charge government, not the Iranian people as a whole. I mean,
no, the IRGC.
Yeah, the IRGC makes up a small portion of Muslims, 200,000 out of 1.8 billion. So yeah, there's a few of them out there, and they're fucking tearing. They're when they are done and out of that country, it'll be awesome for the Iranian people.
Yeah.
Did you see the video he put up today? The Strait of Hormuz.
Oh yeah.
That they have all of the civilians that are lined up at the wall by the water. And because there's no more IRGC to control and shut it down, they're all chanting death to America, death to Israel, the civilians, and they're the only ones that are claiming to defend and control the Sea of Hormuz. I haven't seen anything that insane in my life before. It's ridiculous. And they're all civilians. And did you see how they had all the women on one side and the men were separated on the
Oh,
other
come on,
side?
Mike. That's Muslim for that
Segregation.
matter. When they go ahead and prey on the streets, and they take over the streets and as a matter of aggression against the indigenous population that's already there. If you look at it, all the men are up front and the women are relegated to the back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's part of it. And it's actually, they believe it's good to beat their women, to teach them a lesson, to keep the family straight.
Was it AI? I must have missed this or something. Was it an AI, an example of some of the AI stuff they're putting out in Iran?
No, it was from 2CTV, and it was actual civilians that said because the military
losing people
is not able to control the Strait of Hormuz, that they were there and they were chanting "Death to America, Death to Israel."
Yeah.
So
I don't even know how that makes sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't, but it just shows you how ridiculous this whole Iranian situation is becoming.
Oh, and it's continuing, my friend. One of the things I wanted to cover here, Mike, besides the stuff with NASA that's going on, Japanese things are going on for disclosure, I want to bring this out. I've got a chart I want to bring out. We've been seeing all of these different, what do you call it? Fireballs that are coming into our evening sky, right?
Right.
And for me, I caught on to this, and it's just like something's not right here, right?
Yeah.
Meaning what we're seeing is beyond the norm. You figure, well, it's because everyone's got a fucking cell phone or a spare cell phone, right?
Yeah, that's
and they're
true.
recording the stuff, and that's why we're seeing, because more people are looking up. But the reality, if you look on a chart of what's going on out there, where is that? I got to get this cleaned up. I got to get it cleaned up. Let's get to this one. Here we go. If you look at a chart coming from Stephen Burns, he's a great podcaster on YouTube. He watches the sun, watches what's going on with the planet and everything in between. He's a scientist, and he brought out this little post here saying, here we have a fireball sightings over the United States, some by month via NASA data from 2018 through March 2026. Currently, we're at a 4.5 standard deviation above the average of 2 fireball sightings per month for the time frame. Keep in mind, no big meteor streams are known for March. This is some lesser ones. And again, what we're dealing with, Mike, is not normal, meaning all of the different fireballs that we're seeing in the skies is not normal. A lot of these things that we've seen in the skies are not moving at the speed that a fireball should move at, which means we've heard coming from Ben Davidson, they're moving about 50% of the speed that they should. Now, Ben, being a bit on the fringe, is calling out and saying what we're seeing in all these fireballs, half the ones he's seeing are moving at a rate which would put them more into the likelihood of UAP than just a regular meteor fireball coming to the planet.
So what does he think is causing that?
Well, he doesn't know, but he's pointing to, based on the speed and the telemetry of some of these things that are coming in, they're not meteors. There's something else.
Like what?
Not human. No, UAP. Flat out. He calls them out as potentially being UAP.
Really?
I mean, there were 4 over Ohio that were shot last night. They're over Texas. They're over California. They're over Washington State. They're happening everywhere, but not just in the United States, freaking worldwide.
You have any idea what the criteria is for a fireball by this chart?
No, I don't. But I would potentially see something that you see as an object coming to the atmosphere, where you're getting a trail going behind it, and it's visible for a certain amount of time.
I thought it was a fireball, like a moving fireball on its own, not defying gravity and not falling from the sky.
Right. No, what they're talking about is crap or things that are coming in at a trajectory, and it looks like what a meteor would look like, but it doesn't behave necessarily within the scope of what we would expect a meteor to behave as such.
Okay.
That's very odd, to say the least.
Yeah, it is. So
And
Stephen
mainstream media hasn't picked up on it. No one else is covering this.
we're getting medium coverage of this. This is one that just happened yesterday.
Okay.
Let's see, fireball across Ohio being seen from nearby states as well. This marks a 10 fireball event, but there were 4 that were seen yesterday, not just 1, but 4. Let's see if I can go through some of my bookmarks I've got here. This is a chart coming from AccuWeather showing going back to 2012, right?
Yeah.
How many fireballs are usually seen in March of the year? And now we're at 10 versus 1. We had a peak of 5 in 2019, a peak of 7 in 2021. In March of 2026, we got a couple days left. We're up to 10 already.
Really?
Yes.
That
There's an
is-
escalation going on. And I read about this years ago. I don't remember where, but there was things talking about us entering into something that deals with an apocalyptic kind of a thing, that we're going to start seeing an increase first of fireballs coming in.
Okay.
It's happening.
And what is that supposed to lead to at one point?
We're coming into either A, it's a non-human intelligence coming in, or B, we're dealing with something. We're getting into a part of space where there's a lot of additional debris. You know, the planet, our sun, as it's rotating around, let's use R2-D2 for this, rotating around the Milky Way galaxy, right? It moves up and down and up and down and up and down like a carousel horse, right? As it's moving along. Now, in its trajectory going around, as we move around the center of the Milky Way galaxy, at different times, we're going to be running into debris
Different
fields
objects.
that have been left from other objects that have gone kablooey over time.
Which makes perfect sense.
Right.
Scientifically, I get it.
Now, this one that I'm showing right now came in yesterday over Austin, Texas. And it's during the daytime, Mike. These things aren't showing up at night. They're showing up during the daytime.
Because if it's something out there in the cosmos as we're moving through it, it doesn't have the same sense of time that we do.
Right. It's out there. It's stationary as we move into the field. I know this isn't SpaceX. There was something that came across yesterday over California where they saw a long streaking object go on. That was not SpaceX. That was SpaceX. But a lot of these things, like this particular one that was seen over Austin, was not SpaceX.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. So it's definitely something that could be moving through from the Milky Way.
Right. Now, here's one. Where is this one from? This is on the West Coast. This is the Dragon capsule, or this is SpaceX launching something into space. You've got a long stream going behind it.
What the fuck?
No variances. This is SpaceX, guaranteed 100%. It's not coming down. It's just something that's there. So you have to look at the stuff that we know what's going on versus the stuff that we don't know what's going on.
Holy shit.
Right. Because if it is an object that we're passing through from the Milky Way, there's an explanation for that. And it makes sense.
Oh, of course it does.
Right. Somebody saying it's evil and a demon, there's no logic to confirm that. So I agree.
Now, here's another object they caught coming in. But this one's interesting about it, Mike. Although it's a meteor coming in and it's green, but depending on the, if you want to call it the minerals that are in the meteor that's coming in, there's not a long trail coming in.
Right.
And it's kind of moving along through the atmosphere. So we got a lot of stuff going on. This one is, again, some interesting phenomena going in the skies. This one's over Kazakhstan. It came in 9 hours ago. The sky, and if you look at what they're talking about here, let's zoom this out a little bit, get into here. Mike, you've got what looks like structures in the sky that are out there.
Yeah.
That normally wouldn't be there. And this is the moon in its current phase. But going ahead and seeing these kind of rectangular objects in the sky, either there's some amazing lighting going from the ground that's causing that, or there's something else that's going on that's unexplainable.
Could be. You're right. That makes sense.
Hey, can I just throw a little 411 in on the fireballs?
Yeah.
So directly from AI here, Earth passes through the various debris fields throughout the year, but the most notable uptick in fireball reports
is in April.
Occurs during the spring fireball season.
Right, which is in April.
Running from February through April. During these months, particularly around the weeks of the March equinox, fireball sightings can increase by 10 to 30%, which some astronomers believe is due to Earth traversing a region of larger debris. So there you go.
But based on what's happened in the past, Daryl, we've got more debris coming into the planet now than we've seen in the past.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's interesting.
Well, we could be moving through a different area of the Milky Way, which could have more debris.
Yeah.
I tell you what I learned in that article also is that we're on if you want to know what is the leading edge of the planet facing the one that's going towards out into space is when it's midnight, you are on the side of the planet that is facing the windshield.
Nice.
There we go.
I like that. Yeah.
Now, interesting piece, Mike, that came up today. There was a piece that was written by Matt Ford and Christopher Sharp and Josh Boswell regarding the CIA's Office of Global Access, which we've been talking about lately a lot, right?
Right.
That story that was up there exposing the OGA and what's going on was permanently deleted and removed from the website of the Daily Mail. You just got to wonder why.
That's not a good sign.
But it also shows, Mike, the CIA has been implicated on many different levels with regards to the non-human intelligence and their programs for recovery of crash craft, right?
Yeah, George Knapp testified under oath at the UAP hearing that Glenn Gaffney, who was in charge of the Science and Technology Division of the CIA, was the gatekeeper that was blocking the transfer of material from Lockheed over to Bob Bigelow.
Right.
Right.
That's the OGA.
Yeah.
And shortly after that story broke, all the images and things that were out there that were links to the OGA immediately disappeared from Google and all the major search engines.
Yes, they did. We covered that when that was going on. But I'm sure Chris still has the article on the Liberation Times.
He does, but it just shows that there's something evil at foot. There's a cover-up that's going on, even as we're moving towards disclosure, Mike. It seems that the deep state that's running from the CIA in the United States is doubling down to keep the truth out of the public, even though we're getting the executive branch to go ahead and literally open the doors on bringing out the truth. What's up with that?
It sounds like a conspiracy theory that's coming from within the government. We know that already. It's been going on for
It's not a conspiracy theory. It's what's going on. Their existing programs, and they are flexing their muscle and the ability to try to shut this communication down.
Well, we know that they've been doing that since this all began, and it's going on currently until today.
Yeah.
We know what they were doing with the last UAP hearing where Lou testified. We know that the intelligence community was involved in that. We know the CIA is directly involved with this program since their inception back in 1947.
Yeah.
Nothing has changed. Nothing has stopped. That hasn't even slowed down. And we need an executive order coming from the president to declassify this information
100%.
once and for all.
Really quick before we get into talking about this, please like and subscribe to our podcast. If you've been watching the show, you're having a good time. We've got 377 people watching us right now. If you're having a good time, we'd love to have you as a regular subscriber to Disclosure tonight. And give us a thumbs up if you're having a good time, right, Mike?
Oh, yeah. And we even have a double your money back guarantee. Yep. And the cost, of course, is always free. So
doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. But why am I asking? Because it helps our channel grow, helps us expand our reach. The more people who like the show, the more people who subscribe, the more YouTube goes ahead and raises up in the algorithm. Granted, we're a live show and we pay for it. Meaning, Mike, if we took this down to 20-minute episodes without the live audience, we do a lot better. But you know what? I go for the live audience. I go for the interaction because that's what we're about. It's not about my disclosure or your disclosure. It's about our disclosure.
The public.
Right.
Which is why we have live viewer calling.
Yeah.
And it's a platform that if you enjoy this and participate, please continue to like and subscribe.
Yes. However, if you're like Susan Goff and you're one of the people who want to keep disclosure out, don't subscribe. Just shield your eyes away and listen in.
That's it. No, you're right. Kyle has his hand up.
Kyle, go for it, my friend.
I wanted to tell you, if you check your email, there's about a 1.5 minute video in there, Trump making a big announcement. And it does look like there may be a spot available for Luna as vice president.
All right. Which email? Which
when
email?
Was the date of the video, Kyle?
Just like yesterday, late yesterday.
Kyle Reinhardt,
right.
Trump discloses aliens. Let's just do this live. Copy link address. Let me go to I don't want Chrome. I need to go back to Brave so everyone can hear this shit.
I just got
Oh my God. It's a joke. Let's deal with it.
off the phone with the aliens, and they really like me. I have a great relationship with them, but I wish I didn't FaceTime with them because they're really nasty looking, and I made some unpleasant jokes, but I think they like me. We have a deal like you wouldn't believe that's about to happen. I found out they have oil like you wouldn't believe. They don't even touch it. They told me, you're crazy for using oil. I said, you're crazy for not using oil. What's wrong with these aliens? You know, you think
this is the one we heard before.
than us, but apparently they're not, because all they wanted for the oil, think of this, all they wanted for
They talked about Marco Rubio, right? And giving up Marco Rubio for this stuff.
is Marco Rubio.
There we go.
Yeah,
okay, so someone took the video that we played before that was in 3D and did some different stuff to it. Interesting. But we caught you.
Yep. And it's a joke. So
yeah.
Nothing to do with Anna Paulina Luna running for vice president.
Well, I mean, if Marco's if Marco's been traded, then that's less competition for the VP spot. But no, that's a great fucking video.
Oh God, yeah. Absolutely. This is a great picture. Whoever caught this one, I saw this. This is coming from Steve at Vast Depth. Great pictures of Aurora Borealis and just different things around it. It's all about the setup, folks. That's what we've been dealing with. So let's get into this. All right, Mike. This is an interesting one. We've heard about the messages that were sent by Mark Christopher Lee, and supposedly he was dealing with Robert Bigelow, right?
Right.
And getting answers, but Robert Bigelow, coming from George Knapp, is called this as bullshit. So what he wanted to say was, Mark.
Good for Knapp. Yeah.
I wanted to reach out privately regarding the situation. There continues to be considerable pushback from certain elements who have effectively controlled the UFO agenda. These forces are determined to prevent any form of true disclosure. I have used what influence I possess to advocate for more meaningful transparency, but it has come clear that what will be released will amount to be little more than superficial tidbits. Nothing of substance will address the true mystic nature of the phenomenon. Your recent efforts are noted. These matters are complex and deeply layered. Yours, RB, meaning Robert Bigelow. Now, coming into this, George Knapp reached out and said, "This is bullshit. I spoke to Robert Bigelow less than 30 minutes ago. He says he never met, spoken to, or emailed Lee. Anyone who knows Mr. Bigelow is aware he would never share private, sensitive info with some random UFO guy in a foreign country. This is not only false, but preposterous." Mike, this takes the whole conversation that's been coming out from Christopher Lee and flushes it down the toilet. As I walk away to my toilet, I'll let you talk about this.
Yeah, it goes to show you that there is still a lot of bullshit that's being spread that's completely false information on this subject. And it's good that we have people like George Knapp that could set the record straight about his good, close, and personal friend, Robert Bigelow. Otherwise, the public would hear something like this and think it's absolutely 100% categorically true, because they don't have it in context, and they don't have the accurate details or information. That's why any information that comes forward, we have said time and time again, you have to look into it, you have to fact check it, and you just can't take a statement like this at anybody's word, because we know a lot of bullshit is consistently been being put out there on this subject the whole time, and it doesn't look like it's slowing down.
It doesn't.
So,
so basically, Mike, what we've been dealing with is people who are been making unbelievable claims, right?
Right.
However, those claims are unable to be backed up. But really quick, I want to go ahead and thank Daryl is here for the TJF for Disclosure tonight. Thank you very much. Coming from Sheldon Montgomery, DT is a place to be. And Baba 200 for saying VP is a planter guy. Yeah, interesting. Thank you, everyone, for your love and support, what you're here doing at Disclosure tonight. We try to do our best, don't we, Mike?
Every day, Thomas.
There's so many things we spend every day going day after day, going through the feed of stuff and trying to figure out what can we bring forward, what's realistic, and what can we take out to our audience, because somebody has to do it.
Oh, it's a dirty job, but somebody has to do it to keep the record straight to the public. And we do. Yeah. Every time we have a show, we tell people what's true and what isn't.
At least we try to. You have to have a filter, because we have a lot of understanding on stuff. There's a lot of shit we could bring out, but the truth of the matter is we try to narrow it down to stuff that we feel is credible.
Right, because if we know, like George Knapp just pointed out about Bob Bigelow, if we know something to be false and not true, we won't put it out there. There's no reason to. It spreads disinformation if you do that.
So I do have a clip here of Mark Christopher Lee talking about this. This came out, I believe, earlier. Is this earlier today? No, that's a while ago. Him talking about it. So, yeah, a bunch of problems, Mike. We try to bring out the truth, but if there's people who are going out there and going down different avenues, we'll bring out the truth where we can.
We'll point it out for what it is, like George Knapp just did.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you're spreading all this bullshit out there and people don't know any better. It doesn't help.
You feel like you're fed bullshit and kept in the dark.
Right.
We're like a mushroom.
Yep.
All right.
Exactly.
So this one, Mike, came from Texas yesterday.
Yeah.
Let's bring it up. 3 fireballs were spotted in the skies of Austin, Texas, conservative commentator Owen Scheuer, who lives and witnessed it, says he doesn't believe these are meteors, and they were initially on fire when they appeared in the sky with 2 planes. So, Mike, here's another incident. We've got 3 more showing up in Austin, Texas last night. What the fuck is going on in our skies?
Well, like we just discussed, this is obviously debris that is in the Milky Way that our solar system and our sun is moving directly through. And, Daryl just pointed out that this is typical at the spring months, like February, March, and April.
Yeah, but you know what, though, Mike? In the past years, we haven't seen so many things going on. So we could go ahead and say that, yes, this is normal. But I'm going to go ahead and say, and come from the other side and say, no, this isn't normal. And on top of that, let's go ahead and do a quick survey from the audience. Let's start a poll, and let's go ahead and say...
Thomas, just before you do the poll, I just want to know, do you not think that we could possibly be going through a more dense debris field?
Heavier debris field.
We
I'm
could
with you
be.
on that, Daryl.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Really quick, easy. Recent... Jesus Christ.
Fireballs.
Are
they?
No.
Jesus Christ
Recent increase in fireballs in the sky. Is it normal or is it not normal? God, I hate to say that because that is my fucking ex-wife used to say. Yeah. And by the way, folks, if you ever see the start of the show when I say wherever in the world you're waiting for, when I go ahead and do the swirling finger and pointing at the start of every show, that is my mom who, at a point in time when she was visiting her house when I was married to that troll, she said, "You're a witch," my ex-wife. So every time you see wherever in the world you're waiting for, that's exactly what it means.
That reminds me of that song, My Mama Doesn't Like You and She Likes Everyone.
Yeah. Gotta have fun with it. All right. Coming from our audience, what is our audience saying? All right. God, Jesus Christ. They changed everything on this, Mike. They took the stuff, they put it on the bottom of it. All right. What is our audience saying? Let's bring this up a little bit larger. The recent increase in fireballs in the sky, is it normal or is it not normal? Well, we're at 60%, Mike, for not normal. Normal is about 43%. Either way, there's a huge increase going to not normal, and I have to agree with it, saying what we've been seeing is outside of the norms of what we would expect, meaning there's something going on. Now, is this going to keep on increasing to something bad? We don't know. Or is it just going to fall off and be like it usually is? We don't know, but either way, there's something enough out there that we need to pay attention to.
Let's do a follow-up poll. Let's bear down and specify what it could be. Put up for the audience, is this moving through a denser debris field in the Milky Way, or are these UAP or UFOs?
All right. Let me do that. Get Lou Elizondo out of the way. Let me end the poll. All right, we're at 42:58 for our first one. Let's go ahead and do our next one. No, I don't want a Q&A. Fuck that shit. No, I want to start a poll. The next one is the two options are, this is
the solar system moving through a dense debris field in the Milky Way, or UFO UAP.
What's the cause of the fireballs, debris field, or UAP? There we go.
That's it.
Since I can start the sound effects. Jesus Christ, where did that go?
Set it up 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Hey, Google, set a timer for 1 minute and 30 seconds. Sorry, Darryl.
All right. 1 minute and
30 seconds. Starting now. All right, so we got this. Let's where the audience take this on this point, Mike. If we look at what's going on right now, 73% of our audience, a huge part, is actually going ahead and saying that 70%, 30%, it's the debris field versus UAP.
It looks like they rushed to get to that vote. If you notice, you had 58 votes really quickly, and the other one, what the total was 65 or something on the other one. But anyway, it seems like that was a great poll suggestion because it more fits with what people.
It makes sense. We're going through a debris field because there's a bunch of debris fields. There's a bunch of different times where we had issues where there were a lot of cosmic objects raining down on the Earth. You can't get past it. It's not going to go anywhere. With 35 seconds left, 66 votes in.
Yeah,
we're still at a 70-30, Mike.
Yeah, I see that. But we have almost 370 people in the audience right now. We should have more people in the poll.
But the thing is, people who are on TV, which is about half of the people who are watching us, right, can't vote.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I know. Blame YouTube for that one.
That same half of the audience has a phone. We can load YouTube up on it. So
all right, our timer has gone off from that one. We are going to stop that shit. Let's go ahead and take a screenshot of this for posterity. Mike, everybody from our audience is saying above and by far, we're dealing with a debris field, meaning we're coming into something that we haven't hit in a while. Makes sense.
It makes sense to me. I agree.
And I'll shut off the pulsing logo sound effect. How about that?
Yeah, the audience is not happy about that. So get rid of it.
Well, I usually do, but they usually tell me, Thomas, you haven't turned off the sound effect. Damn it. And I lost. Where the fuck is chat? It's the chat. How about chat? There we go. Live chat. Got it. Gotta have a fun time. You know, Mike, it's been a hell of a week.
It has.
So, if you remember earlier in the week, end of last week, Mike, we had the Japan's prime minister who recently went for a snap election and came back unbelievably in control, right? Come and visit the United States of America.
Right.
And shortly, after she visited Trump and talked with him, there's been a renewed effort coming from Japan to push for a UAP investigative body.
Yeah, hopefully more like the FBI, not Arrow.
Right. But what we're dealing with is after she dealt with the president, right?
Yeah.
And his current initiatives to come out, Japan is going along with what we're trying to bring out, what the United States is trying to do to bring out the truth about UAP.
Right. So he must have said something to her.
Yeah, of course. They have a UAP investigation body that's in place. They're trying to figure out what's going on, and they want to bring out the truth, and that's what it's about. Going ahead and bring forward the truth to the people. But it's interesting that we have someone who's a close ally in Japan now working in coordination with the United States to bring out the facts and get rid of the cover-up.
Yeah, Japan is a longstanding ally of the United States, especially in the against China in the Sea of China. So key ally.
You would think.
And well, we know Japan has also looked into disclosure for a while now. They have been doing studies, and there have been scientists that have mentioned what they think is going on and different things. So it's disclosure is not exactly a new topic for Japan, is the point I'm trying to make.
No. It's not, but it shows we're getting international cooperation on the effort to go ahead and disclose this information to the public. That's an important step.
Yeah, somebody should. Our own government hasn't done that yet. So, by all means.
Oh, yeah.
Let somebody bring the truth out. We'll take it.
That's where we need to go, Mike.
I know. Because after hearing J.D. Vance saying that this is the devil and it's all demons, I'm not really expecting to get a real answer out of our current administration.
No, because it's commingled with religious beliefs versus actual representation of what we've been seeing.
Right. Of what we know to be true and the difference between what's real and what isn't.
Yeah.
Right.
So go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, sooner or later, the truth is going to have to come out. Somebody's going to bring it forward.
It needs to.
It's long overdue. There's
so much bullshit out there. We need to strain through it, come out with the truth. We all deserve it. On that note, we have a new exclusive coming from Ascapol, Matt Laszlo in Washington, D.C. There might be an error replacement. Eric Burleson tells Ascapol, let's go ahead and play this next clip and see what he has to say. So let's go ahead and bring this up. And where is this at? Here we go, folks. Let's play this audio clip coming from Matt Laszlo talking to Eric Burleson. All right, here we go.
Someone had a clarifying question for you. Do you know, is there a group now above Arrow when it comes to disclosure?
Not yet.
But you guys want
there might be.
Yeah.
I don't know yet.
Because we haven't really heard much, if anything, from Arrow.
Because, Mike, we've already heard that supposedly there's a new organization within the DOD to bring out the information that's beyond Arrow, right?
Yes, that hasn't been mentioned publicly. That seems to be taking over for what Arrow was intended to originally
right, but
do.
Burleson's saying not yet. So it sounds like there's a
conflicting
conflation going on in the truth of what's actually going on.
Well, like we just heard from George Knapp about Bob Bigelow.
Right.
There are people that spew a lot of bullshit out there, and none of it is real. So that could be the case as well.
Oh, who could that be, Mike? I have no idea. Let's bring it out. Here we go. Let's play some more.
Oh, my God. There she is.
Yeah, here we go.
Someone had a clarifying question for you. Do you know, is there a group now above Arrow when it comes to disclosure?
Not yet.
But you guys want
there might be.
Yeah.
I don't know yet.
Because we haven't really heard much, if anything, from Arrow.
No, I haven't heard much from him in a while either.
Yeah. But it also sounds like you guys in the UAP caucus kind of left them.
Mike, the UAP caucus is dead.
Has been for a while now.
Yes. They gave us the, task force for the classification of national secrets, and it shut down the UAP task force, didn't it?
It did.
100%.
Right, exactly.
Here we go.
For the FBI group, because they just never had your heart or trust.
For me, that's not the case. I think that, look, I want as many agencies investigating this topic as possible.
Yeah.
Because we need as many perspectives on this.
Yeah.
And look, and some are going to be a good referee on the other, right?
Yeah.
So I think that it's, my personal opinion is we need Arrow, we need the FBI.
Do we really need Arrow, Mike? It seems like such a disinformation organization. Why is Burleson saying we need Arrow?
Because he's a schmuck and talks out of turn often and doesn't know
because
what he's
we
talking
recently
about.
had Luna saying Arrow, we need to get rid of him, right?
Defund Arrow. Yes.
Yeah. It sounds like it sounds like Burleson is within the circle of trust of the funding that goes on through Arrow, which is potentially giving him money that flows into his office. And that's why he'd be talking positively about them, right?
It could be, yeah.
Which would mean he's compromised.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a lot of people who want to call him burly and stuff, right? Oh, you know what I'm talking about.
I do.
And it's just total fucking bullshit. And they delve into it and lift this guy up. But if this is where he's really coming from, we need to take note to what he's saying and use that. Schmuck is a fine word. He absolutely is. If he is a schmuck, we need to take that in consideration for what he's talking about and know that we're getting a schmuckster's view on this versus someone who's independent and reputable.
Well, that photo that we've shown before of Burleson arm in arm with Dr. Stephen Greer down in Mexico.
God damn it. You had to bring that up, didn't you? That's like worse than bringing up freaking Susan Goff to me, my friend. Anything with fucking Greer is an erection killer. My God.
It also indicates the person next to Greer is a schmuck. That's my point. So,
yeah.
Obviously, he's established that already publicly.
Yeah.
That's what's going on. So that speaks for itself.
So let's let him speak for himself a little bit longer. We're at 56 seconds out of 114, about 25 seconds. Let's see where he seals himself.
We need everybody that can investigate this should be investigating it.
Have you guys talked to Patel? Like, is he opening up files for you? Luna seemed to hint at that on the Bill Maher show.
I don't have a direct contact with Patel.
Me neither. Appreciate you.
So wait a minute. Why doesn't he have, Mike, a direct conversation or communication with Kash Patel? It makes no sense.
He should. No, it doesn't. Unless he doesn't want to have one, won't pursue it. Could be reasons for that.
Can I say two words and not get in trouble?
Sure, go right ahead.
He's actually 3 words. He's fucking weak.
Well, yeah,
and he's relying on Ozempic and not actually activity. Let's get into that.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. Good point.
Yeah.
Which is why we need to have Tim Burchett on the forefront.
You just read my fucking mind, didn't you? God damn it. You son of a bitch.
No,
Tim Burchett is the only one who's fucking honest in all of this. He's not getting up on a pole in a freaking American flag outfit.
Oh.
Daryl, go ahead.
He's not
on a pole? Did I just hear you?
On a pole.
That's Anna Paulina Luna when she was campaigning. She put pictures up for the campaign of her when she was
a stripper who would freaking dance around a pole at one time?
In a bar in Florida, yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It got her elected.
Economize it.
Kidding? Yeah, sure. It got her elected, so yeah.
But Mike, I have to say, if you watch what's been going on with the attacks on the Senate, the person who's been leading the attacks on the Senate about the SAVE Act has been who? Daryl, who's been the person who's been leading the attack on the Senate for the SAVE Act?
Burleson.
Predestined.
No! Fucking Anna Paulina Luna. God damn it. She's been talking about this so much and everything else. There is something bigger that's been defined for her that goes beyond the size of her breasts. I hate to say it.
Yeah, the store-bought
I'll say it.
Anyway, yeah. She's got the president's ear. We know that already. So,
but usually likes blondes, doesn't he? Yeah, usually.
Yeah. But I don't think he'd throw her out of bed. So.
Oh my God, he had to bring that up, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. It's obviously her support for the administration. That's why she's pushing and promoting the SAVE Act.
Yes. Now coming into this,
in good graces.
Tulsi Gabbard.
Oh, what
freaking
about her?
Cruella DeVille, right?
Yeah.
What is up with that? We've heard so many things going on that the investigations into UAP and whistleblowers within the ODNI has been spiked by the CIA to be a retaliatory advance towards whistleblowers. What the fuck is up with that?
We covered this when that story broke.
No, it's getting bigger now.
Because it's ongoing. It didn't go away. They're involved in trying, like Arrow, to shut down the whistleblowers and discredit them. And that came out from Matthew Brown.
Yeah, and supposedly the stuff that's going on that Matt Ford is pointing towards with regards to the stuff coming out from the OGA getting taken out and everything is all pointing back to people within the ODNI that are being corrupted by the CIA or directed by the CIA, which really brings the question, what the fuck happened to our head of the CIA, John Ratcliffe, right? He was the head of he was the former director of national intelligence. He spread more information about UFOs, what's going on, than any other person who was previously in that position, right?
He did that when he was out of office, though. You gotta
Yeah,
look
I know.
At it like that.
But now that he's back in office and all the shit that's going on, we're getting the articles taken down from the Daily Mail about the OGA, which is an area of the CIA. It seems like the different parts of the government who have been really delved deep into the truth of UFOs and what's been going on have been compromised to an nth degree.
Yeah, including the new group that Tulsi Gabbard put together in the ODNI, the Directive Investigation Group, the DIG, that spoke with Matthew Brown and George Knapp and Jeremy Corbell and was trying to tear down all the whistleblowers.
Yeah, coming from Baptiste Riescourt out of France. Multiple sources who have spoken to Liberation Times claims that the Department of National Intelligence UAP investigation was compromised by elements linked to the CIA.
Right.
Which means that she is incompetent in her ability to lead the DNI because she is getting boonswoggled by the CIA.
And considering she's in charge of all of the national intelligence, she should be above the CIA.
Mike, I hate to say the word, if she's unable to control the organization that she leads, fucking incompetence.
Right.
Capital I, legal term.
Yeah. No, I agree.
And I love what she does and what she brings to the table, but if she's unable to control the organization that she leads, she's incompetent. Because if she can't control the people that are in the places, she has the ability to remove them and replace them, right?
She should, if she's doing her job.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like she is.
Oh.
And I want to point out to the audience that Baptiste Riescourt is a friend of ours here on the show and does really good work with his articles looking into this subject for a long time now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, about those things that happen over Texas, we have a witness, Mike. Let's go ahead and play this and see where it takes us.
No, very good. Let's play it.
All right, guys. I'm going to try my best to explain what I and others saw tonight west of Austin, pretty far west. And I found some images on X of some other people that saw it. I was driving, so I couldn't really get a good picture. So I'm driving west. It's sunset, twilight, and I see a bunch of objects in the sky, probably like 4 or 5 objects. And they're striking. Like you can't miss them. And I'm thinking, well, this is just the twilight hour, the sunset reflecting off of airplanes or something. You know what I'm talking about. And so I was like, oh, okay, whatever, that's just what it is. And then one of them, I don't know if I would say it blew up, but it just started falling out of the sky and eventually caught fire. and this lasted for like minutes, probably. And then the other objects that were around it started moving and dispersing as well. Someone said they saw 2 fireballs. I only saw the one. And then I looked up at the news and they were talking about how there are meteors or whatever. Folks, this was no meteor.
Okay. So what is it that you think that he saw?
Thomas, you're muted.
All right, let's go ahead and, sorry about this, folks. Let's go ahead and play this, what we saw actually going on in Ohio. Yeah, this is an interesting situation, to say the least. While it aligns to different things that have been going on, it shows that some of the things we've been saying, where we think it's actually a non-human intelligence, it's actually humans fucking around. So let's play this clip. Here we go. Here we go, folks. Mike, as you can see from that, what we're dealing with is not anything that's reality, but it's something that's going on from humans, right?
Yeah. There's a lot of bullshit out there.
Yeah.
We know that already.
Absolutely, on a regular basis.
Yeah, it's nothing new.
Yeah.
People like to get attention, so they put bullshit out there.
Yeah. That's how it seemingly goes, right?
Yeah, it usually goes that way, yeah. Unfortunately. I wish it didn't, but it often does.
Trying to see if there's anything that we haven't covered. Mike, is there anything else we haven't covered on your side, my friend?
Not to my knowledge. I think we talked about a lot today. That's where we had
an
audience come in.
Can't wait to see where we're going to go tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, we have stuff to talk about tomorrow. It'll be interesting.
Yeah. Absolutely, my friend. As we usually talk about it every single episode of Disclosure tonight, I want to go ahead and thank, first of all, our supporters of the show tonight. That we had Baba200, thank you very much, and Shelly Montgomery for super chats, and Daryl is here. Mike, it's been one heck of a great show. I want to thank everybody for coming out. We're a fan-funded program. Appreciate everybody's love and support of what we do here, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
we absolutely do. We appreciate it, and that's why we do this for the audience.
Absolutely. And as we usually say at the end of every episode of Disclosure tonight, eyes open, no fear, be safe, everybody, and we'll catch you in the flip side. See you Monday, everybody. See you soon. Actually, see you tomorrow, literally. Tomorrow, 2 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. London time. I think we're all aligned to that front. We'll see you tomorrow, folks. Take care now. Bye-bye.